Hi everyone. So this is one of my designs. It is wraps around a 4-inch round glass ball. Okay, and the way that I designed these was so you can actually have a round glass ornament versus a flat 4-inch round. So we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna get this going. It's interesting because you wouldn't think, oh, this is going to take no time at all. Yeah, it's a lot of darting, but not a lot of sewing. So that's a benefit of that. So I want to give myself, usually I tell the students in the in-person classes to do 3/4 inch of an inch all the way around, just to be safe so you have plenty to roll over. But on these, you don't want as much because there's just not as much surface area. So we just follow in and out. And I know, if you're a newbie, it's gonna kind of freak you out because everybody is afraid to cut the canvas, but no worries. Okay, I'm just gonna go and do my straight cut so that it's a little easier to handle. Right. All right. So Lisa from Needlepoint Obsession in Mashpee, Massachusetts, is who gave me this one to finish for one of her customers. And you can tell I'm a perfectionist when it comes to keeping things exactly a 1/2 inch away. All comes out in the wash. And we don't need, I tried to design these with not too many points, yet I have some that are shaped like diamonds, so, call me fibber if you wanna, but if you've taken my round class, you're just utilizing things that you have already learned to do, which is dart and steam the waste canvas to the back. All right, I do have some tricks that I use to, how do I say it? Make it life a little easier for when it goes to be put on. So like with any shaped piece that you do, come right up and get right in there and cut right up there, okay? Don't be afraid. All right. You have stitched into a already woven piece of fabric. So if you get too close to your stitch, it's not going to run like it's a pair of pantyhose in the 70s. It'll stay together. You've just woven more onto when you stitched onto a woven piece of canvas. So be brave. I know you can do this. Not sure why I'm so jittery today. I'd say lay off the coffee, but I don't drink coffee. Just taking some extra little bits out of there. Schniblets. So this is actually the first time I've ever finished this design. It's the first stitch one that I've had. All the toppers are basically the same, except some new ones that I just designed for Stitch by Stitch Larchmont. They'll be coming out in the fall. Pretty excited about those. I hate when the schniblets shoot down my sleeve. Like I said, it's a lot like watching me hand sew, right? Dart, 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 dart. So this, all of these, just like I always tell you, everything always needs to be blocked. These especially. Because you want to try to make sure that they're nice and flat and all of the sizing has been reset. Just makes it much easier to handle. Now when it comes to the ends here, this is where, depending on how it's been stitched, there's a lot of stitching on the back side, a heavy stitch on the back side. Then you might see that your band doesn't look like it fits all the way around the 4-inch round ornament. But we have lots of options for that. I tried to add an extra stitch, or a couple, onto the end that can be turned over, so you have a tiny bit more. To work with. Sometimes one stitch is all it takes. And then if it's seems like it's a little too big, then you can roll that under and you can sew it, cinch it in like a belt. Now I know that if you If you watched me making the box, I said, oh, so easy, you guys can do it. There's lots of elements, but you can do it. And then you watched it and you went, yeah, I don't know about that. Because I always tell you guys you can do it because I know you can. You can work your way up to it. Okay. But this, you really can. Easy squeezy. Nothing like the other one. Nothing. The hardest part for this is deciding which fun ornament to use or to let the needlepoint really pop. Or do we make it so that the background color melds into the ball color? Or do we make it into something that goes around a nice glass jar or a candle wrap? So many options. It can be on a snow globe. As long as it's 4 inches round. You could also stitch this and put it onto a ribbon that then gets sewn into a pillow. Some really cool fabrics where it's just a little band. Oof, all these darts are getting caught on my sleeve, sorry. Almost there. Now we have a couple of options. Also, the other hard thing to do is to decide on the do we do cording? Do we do beads? What do we do? There's all these fun decisions we get to make. And it's really interesting because I try things on and then I go, I don't know. Not so much. Not in love with that the way I thought it would be. It's so funny how that happens. Because it's not like a standard 4-inch round where you don't see the material on the back. The likelihood that it's going to be seen is pretty, well, not nominal, but most people don't grab your ornaments that are on the tree and turn them around. And you're going to get to learn a fun way to do a bow. Yeah, a bow. They're so easy. I'm not kidding. It really is. It's a cluster. So I'm not going to mess with this yet, but I am going to finger press all the rest of it down. And I'm not taking and losing and really cranking this around so I'm losing stitches, but I'm not just flattening over the stitch where you can still see the white from the front. You really have to bend that so it's flat. Okay, that's 1 stitch, 2 stitch. So that becomes like a flattened edge there. All right. Oh, gotta wake my iron up again because it's gonna be time to be steamy. All right. Just get all of those pressed around. And you want to make sure that it looks nice as well, that the shape looks like the oval top, because you're not going to wrap this around and put anything in there to hold its shape. Okay? And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut those in a little further. Okay? Like that. So we can really pull that stitch around. We don't have a lot of mechanics to hide, but we don't want to battle with the white waste canvas at all. We don't want to have to bulk up the beading too much or the cording too much, whatever you end up deciding. You know, and sometimes it's, do we do a fancy glass Christmas ball, or do we find a lovely clear plastic one that, because we're giving it to potentially a child and we don't want to take any chances, or we have grandkids and we don't want to take any chances that somebody's going to smash accidentally. Of course, I would never say anything like that. That child would. They're just so pretty. It's hard to resist. So I'm using this leading edge. I'm not pressing down. I'm just letting a little bit of the weight go onto it. Now we turn it around to the front again, and we make sure that all of that waste canvas is going the way we want it to. Okay? And setting all of that in the shape we want it, getting that sizing set. Okay. So interesting, right? And he's a little foible-y spot. Okay. All right, looks good. Boop, bada boop, round we go. All right, last three. Now, I'm gonna take and cut those in the middle and get in that corner a little better. Yep, I'm cutting it right in there. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. I don't know if I'm trying to convince you or myself by going, okay, It's okay. It's really okay. I think it's myself that I'm trying to reassure. And pull those little bits. Get rid of you. Grab it. Okay, so I didn't get the dart there, which any of these angles you have to, and I don't care if you're like, oh my gosh, that's shredding away. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Schniblets happen. They happen a lot. Sorry. A little out of camera range there. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I'm steaming the camera. Now, one thing you might see is that this is potentially a little shifty. You might have to finger block it to make sure that it's straight up and down again and not slightly wonky. But we'll check that in a second. Let's just get all these tabs around. We good, we good, we good. Okay. Get steam going on. Gotta push that around. Around. Now, honestly, you could do a fabric wrap around a styro or even around a plastic ornament so that it had the same, instead of it looking like just a round ball, it would still look like it had a top on it. Okay. So I don't know if you can see, but like this one to me, it looks a little cockeyed. So what we'll do, let's do something I kind of call finger blocking. Take it down to a cooler area of my board where I didn't just steam it. Okay, and I hold that. And I look at this one and I go, that looks okay. You look okay. Sorry, bring it up a little. That one looks okay. And yes, I'm blowing cool air on it to try to get that sizing to really cool down and reset. Right? No. I'm not touching the stitches. Never, never, never put your iron down on the face of your needle point. It will flatten your stitches. They do not come back. They do not like when you do that. Okay. Just kind of working it around and seeing where we might have some issues. So now we're going to kind of do a test, right? Your average roll of masking tape is a perfect little holder so it doesn't roll around on you. And I'm going to take a couple pins, see if I can find a couple short ones. If not, I'll just take. Really not gonna find another short one. Oh yeah, there we go. I should have like a section of my little tomato that is just for shorts. All right. So there's a seam that comes on all of these, and it's a complete center mark. So I just pin it on there, and then bring it around, trying to eyeball that it stays. And it looks like I'm going to be able to take off about 3 stitches. So if I, okay. So I'm going to take my iron again, make sure it's awake. And I'm going to just go ahead and steam these down because it doesn't look like it's gigantically big. And pretty sure that's my side. That is there. That's how it's supposed to go, or close to it. So we're just going to bring it around. We're going to try to put them together the best that we can, because like I said, when you're designing them, wake up, really. Sleepy iron, wake up. Oh, there's some steam. Someone at my class was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, usually it makes it cough up its steam. Not always. It's old. Like me, is not always in the mood to work when I'm supposed to." I think we all know that feeling. So it's good on the styrofoam. Let us do a test wrap. Sometimes glass balls aren't exactly as big as that styrofoam. Okay, so I could tighten it up a little, I think. Like I said, you never know which one you might want to use. And I had this just laying in there, and I thought I'd look at it. Interesting. Definitely not, but it's always good to look. All right. Definitely think it's this one. The glitter ball. Okay. Now, I want to take and lose one more. I think this is the most challenging part right here, is that trying to sew together two tiny little ends. Not always easy, but we'll do our best. Just gonna butt them right up together like that. Okay, and I'm going to get my cheaters on because I'm holding this quite close and I can't really quite see it, to make sure I'm getting all the same stitch line over. There, there, there. Now, oddly enough, I am going to pin it like this so it's more like a flat going across. You see what I mean by that? Those two rows are perfectly flattened. And, oh, not my thumb. Not in the thumb. Okay. Looks odd, I know. Now, you don't have to use a curved needle for this part. But that's pretty much all I have. Make sure it's not my needing picked up. Sorry, sorry. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we set the knot. Of course, I can't do anything. You know, even when I try to sew with a straight needle, I still have to have my grippies now. I just love the ability to not have it slide through my fingers. So this is one of my low profile needles that is what do I want to say, number 21 gauge, and I'm going to come up here. Tiny stitches, tiny stitches. Okay. And then I just go back and forth. Okay. 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 And yes, I go back and forth. Not just one. Not taking any chances. Ow. The drawback of the curved needle is it can bite you in the back of the hand, back of the finger. That's a little bit of a wonky looking shell, but it's best we can do when we're kind of designing these things and they gotta meet. They gotta meet somewhere. Okay. Do. Now, never cut this knot there. Always go up, in, some random spot. Pull it so that the knot disappears up into the needle point, and then cut it right at the surface. Okay. There you go. Done! No. I know. Not funny. So, this is the other challenge of these, is that sometimes these toppers end up being a little weird. And the neck of them isn't exact as we want because they're glass. They're not sandwiched together. I think they I don't know how they manufacture them. I'm not going to guess. So sometimes when you spin it, it doesn't always look round. Can you see that? That is crazy. Okay. So this is how I try to do it. To measure. First thing I do is I always pull it on from the top. I don't know why. I just do. And we scooch. I'm putting it on the wrong way. There is a right way up and a wrong way up, and I totally just did wrong way up. I just might have to make another ball. Wow. Okay. All right. So see how when we put it on, they flare away. Here's a trick. Okay, take it back off there. Because like I said, I think I have to change that out. So we're going to put it down onto this lovely styrofoam ball. Try to get it centered, sort of, there. There. Is my water getting low? Maybe it is. Okay, hold on. All right, so I went ahead and tacked it on, trying to get everybody sort of on the meridian. Okay. Interesting. Right? Big secret. Can you guess what it is? I bet you can. Right? Because I just filled my iron up. Gave the hint away, right? Hold it way down so you don't hit your fingers with the steam. Okay? And then you're going to hold that. Hold your canvas. Right? And look at that. Molds right to it. See that? right, so we just go around and do every single one. This is also the point where you could, if you needed to, re-finger block it to make sure it looks nice and even, you know. All right, just like that. I get a little fussy about the little bits, waste canvas, but there's time to deal with those. Now is not the time. Okay, and let's take that off, press it around, press it around. Now, one of the things, because this one has a little bit of extra room on it, one of the things that you can do, if it's too short, is this. Exactly what we're doing here. You stitch it together at the very ends so they just meet, and then you steam it and slide it on, and this will expand and block it longer. Right on the curved piece. I sort of got this idea from a very Barry at Town Hall Needlepoint. He in Brewster, Massachusetts. He gave me a book when I first started doing finishing, and it was from the 60s, and it showed this person T-pin a bunch on the end of a white Keds tennis shoe, and they T-pinned it all on, and then they steamed it to get the shape of the shoe. It was pretty cool. I might have to dig that out if I can find it. That was 20 years ago he gave that to me, and it was the only reference material that I had for doing this. It's not like now where the information is free-flowing practically. Of course somebody's calling me. Sorry about that. And yes, the steam does make your styrofoam ball a little funky, but I'll take it for it laying nicely and curved beautifully around it. It's extremely helpful when you're doing the topper. Okay? All right. I'm going to go get a different white ball because I want to, I just think that's so weird and so wonky. All right, so that break led to some decisions about the ball that I was going to use. This is a ball that just had, I don't know, I guess it wasn't the same as the one I was using here, and it just had a light dusting. of the glitter on it. So this white, this iridescent white that she used to stitch this, um, is not really, how do I put it? It's not white. And so I went ahead and mixed up some white and a touch of cream and just knocked it down a little bit. And I just dabbed it on with a paintbrush. And then I used my diamond dust spray over the top of it so that it gives it a glittery finish, but it still has some interest because when the light hits it, you can kind of see how it's dappled underneath. So, yeah, I'm going with that. Now, it's really, like I said earlier, it's really hard to figure out where the center is and on these, and by the way that you spin them. So what we're going to do is we're going to elicit some acid-free scrapbooking double sticky tape, and I'm going to hold this like this so that I know I'm not going to, I'm just going to put a little, yeah, it did. If you're not going to roll, oh, look at that. Well, that's brilliant. Hmm. 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 Best laid plans, right? Oh, they're easy. They're so easy. Haha, Kelly. They're not so easy. Okay. So, I think I'm going to use, since that doesn't want to do that, I have some of the double stick that I use for when we do framing. All right. Ah. And I can slide it down in there, stick it on. Grab my elusive dowel needle, which I can't seem to find, so we'll just use a pen. And peel that backing off, like so. Okay. Now we're going to bring our card up. The reason I just do not just glue right away is, of course, that other one let go because there wasn't enough tape there. And I like to look and see what it's going to look like. Make sure that when I spin it, it doesn't look all wobbly. So a lot of times I'll put it right around the, well, when I first started doing it, I started putting it right around the middle. And the problem with that would be with this. This is an approximation because if I go too high or I go too low, it's going to shift and look shifty. Next, I don't have to do this to the bottom. I just have to get all of these set at the top. It has they have a tendency to drop low. So that's why you secure the top part. Make sure that it doesn't go down too low. Ay, ay, ay. Precarious. Guess what? Dude is going to stick on there. It's still on my finger. Brilliant. There. Up. Okay. Cut off some more. Because the other way to do it, as far as where it's at, where it's going, don't do that again, is to kind of let it spin. And you kind of tap it, almost, not that that's how you center email coming in pottery. Just center your piece. Not really tap it, but it's sort of like that. Two more, two more. And then one time I committed to putting the tape in the middle. Did I just do that one? I must have. Because those are the two that are out and moving. And, oh, Kelly, when are you going to learn? And what happened was I ended up, see, this just shows you how fallible I am. Queen of the mistake. And make it work moment anyway. Oh yeah, are you still? Yep. Okay. And yep. Come on, behave yourselves, please. That tape is not loving. But before, if I like where the position is at, then what happens is I end up coming back and remeasuring, making sure that the tape didn't shift. Little bugger. Since that one especially seems to not love me. And then last piece. Okay. And we go like that. All right. Now, here we go. I'm going to put it up in front of us. You can already tell. You got to make sure your string is up in the middle as well. You know. Looks good to me, at least when I'm looking in the camera and it's far away from me. Okay. Fabri-Tac. That's what we use on the Limoges box lids. Can't put them on without it. And actually, I think... Oh. Okay. So this is a really cool glue with a uber precise applicator. So you don't have the thickness of this going in between. And if you watched the box finishing, you will have seen this lovely little gadget. Let's see if we can get it to go. Come on. Oh, there it is. We will definitely use the other applicator when we put the trim on, and I'm running that right inside that waste canvas. Okay, I'm gonna bring my card, kind of double check that it's still pretty close to where we had it. Okay. And move to the next one. I'm not going deep into the like starfish and that yet. Okay, we're just gonna get these tacked on, going through. How did I come up with this piece of paper that has the mark on it? Well, I put it on and looked at it from the side to see if it was high enough up, and at that point, when I just liked where it was at, I measured the one that I liked the height of, and then proceeded to do a mark on a piece of paper for where that would go. Now, like I said, if you want to sew this onto something cloth, you absolutely can. You just have to put cloth over something to be able to sew it into. Because, you know, one of the biggest problems with things like this is that keep your glue bottle on your side if there isn't a lot there or it's being difficult. Like that one was just being for me. All right, I'm going to come in and just quite literally smash it down with this hand while I continue to glue. Whoop. And if you keep it laying on its side, then it doesn't take as long to feed down. And the reason why I'm not going in and doing the little center sections right now is because there's a lot of waste canvas popping up there, and I'm going to have to push it down. And I really don't want to do that until I have this set. so it's not going anywhere. This one's tape has definitely let go, so we definitely have to measure, 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 measure. The I just keep going back, smashing down those edges. It doesn't take as long as you think for this glue. Do not use hot glue on this. Do not, do not, do not. Asking for trouble. And why is that? It's the same reason we don't use hot glue on cording. Ever, 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 ever. Because if it gets too hot in the attic or wherever somebody's decided to store this little lovely piece of finishing, this little heirloom, then what happens? The glue breaks down because it's temperature sensitive, and they could go to get it out of the attic next year and it quite literally falls off. Yeah, not something you really want when you worked so hard on this. All right, so now I wasn't really thinking all that well on that one thing. All right. So anytime I go to a store and they give me a rubber band, oh, get out of there. I keep them for just such occasions. No, 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 no. There. There. All right. Now, I'm going to go around and hit the bottoms. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put all of these, get them all nice and even down there, laying nice and flat if possible. Should get pretty flat. Okay. Now this time, if you notice, because it's probably a little higher than it is lower, I had one that came close. The design made it so that it looked lower and you actually quite literally could not, when it was like this, it just looked like it was way down. So I tended to, I've changed that up a little. And I can get under these better because of the other side is down, so they tend to pop up. I'm putting a pretty good bead on this bottom size. stringer is caught on my. It does not hurt to let your glue sit for a second and get a little tacky before you lay it down. Not a big deal. Now with these, we will be coming back in just like the other ones and using the skinny injectable one. And I'm really keeping this on the waste canvas. I'm not, going, we have all those darts here. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see it, that I'm setting that on. I'm not saturating the stitches. And you're going to say, well, that's a lot of glue, and I'm pretty sure some of it squishes through. Well, you'd be surprised how it doesn't. Okay. Get off there. And all right. Now, when you pull this forward, make sure, did you see that? Oh, can you see that? It wants to squish out like some jelly out of a PB&J. You know how I love that analogy. Or a jelly donut. I just heard that. My rubber band is rolling away. Bugger. You stinker. It does that too. Okay. Put all of these down. I don't know why it pops off like that, other than the fact that it just does. Kind of like if I wear any kind of pantyhose, the control top waist wants to roll down to the roll that's below it. It's a thing. My legs are too white not to wear pantyhose. Eh. Jelly donut. There's some right there. So what do we do with it? You remember what I just said? Did I tell you? Or did I get obsessed with something else? Take a pin and pull it back under your piece. Okay? Do I see any more? I don't. But we're going to elicit our rubber band again, and we're going to make it a fat one. Okay, okay. And boop, and boop. Oh, look at that. Let's pull it down. This is what gets me in trouble every time. Because then that's when it starts to go, oh, heading to the fat roll. And then I look like the Michelin Man. All right. Wipe the boogers from the glue nozzle. This is where we fine tune it. Now, right here where we have our seam, we're not doing anything with that yet because, dang it, I just set my glue up like that. Ah, that is where our cording is going in and out of. Okay, what did I do with my doll needle? It's probably right in front of my face. Well, that'll do in a pinch, I guess. Not my doll needle. That's what happens when I clean. I lose track of everything. So, that. Come on, pull under. Pull under there. Yep, so that's okay. I am going to pull that under when we do it. Okay. This one looks pretty good. So now the reason why we get these edges down is because we do not want our cording or our beads, whatever we're going to be using, we do not want that to fall back behind. Okay, so what we're going to do is you put a pin in that stitch, and you can pull. Should be able to pull that waist canvas under some. Okay, just like that. Very good, very good. All right, so I'm going to put my thumb there and I'm going to move on. And you know, just because you're using glue doesn't mean it goes faster. You need to take your time. Push your waist canvas under. Hide everything. Get everything nice and set. Okay. There. And now you're like, there what? I can't see nothing. Sorry, my big thumb's in the way. Okay. And put pressure there. Right? And now I'm going to take that fingertip and that and hold everybody down. Yay! So much better. All right, so let's get some glue injected in here. I'm going to go ahead and get some in there. So it starts to kind of set up. Why not? Okay. Boop, 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 boop. On its side, on its side. Again, not perfect, but doesn't, we just need to try to get as much of it under as possible. So our trim, whatever it may be, doesn't have to work miracles to hide the waste canvas. Okay. Under. I don't think I cut that stitch enough. Does it help? Probably not. It's just something I guess I inherently do. That looks like it's got good tack. I see foibles. They're coming from where? From there, and there. All right. Now, start getting these other ones under because that glue is setting. Let's not have a missed opportunity. Pushing all that down under. One more. Getting that under. Get under there. Demon voice. Just do what I'm telling you to do. Now, some people are looking at this going, you do know that's glass, right? Yeah, I know. For as often as we have them, the fear of them breaking, it's not as bad as you think. Yeah, that's okay. Yep. I am going to get you there because I see you are really lifted. And you there. Like that. Okay. So I had all these things that I was toying with. Oh, I should do this tealy, aqua color. Yes, that's what I should do. It just didn't look right. Because as the ball, if you're looking at it from the side where there's no teal, it's like, why do we have teal on there? And it's not that it has to be matchy-matchy. It can just be something complementary, right? Right. Upper bands. So I grew up in the 70s and I wanted to be an animator. And there is a cartoon out that has I don't know if it was a Mickey Mouse trailer, but I want to say it was a part of a Bugs Bunny one that has the rubber band. I love that. Yes, I do know the song, Rubber Band Man. I'm pretty sure it's Looney Tunes. Because it's definitely Mel Blanc's voice. We're going to come back here. We're going to hit this push that under. Okay. Push that under. I mean, if you did it really carefully, you wouldn't have to put any trim on it. But I think it'll look nicer and more complete if it does. And I'm sure the person whose ornament it is would feel the same, the stitcher. I always love to see what different people use, what their go-to fiber is. So very interesting. Okay, doot. There's another one down. Now I can see some little schniblets there. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about those. Obviously, I am worried about those because I'm being hyper conscious about them, but okay. Almost there. Yay. Two more. Grip down on those. Get these injected. I like this ball better because it looks more like a pearl. Has a nice texture to it. What I've found with these is you go and you get a red. If you're going to do these and you want to be able to match the ball and not have to do a lot of fuss and muss to it, get the ball you want to put the piece on and match your fiber to the color of the ball. So if you wanted to do this green, you'd find the ball first that you liked and then stitch it that color. Because just like trying to find certain kinds of fabric, good luck. just doesn't happen. And it is annoying. Okay. Pull that under. I can see that this is quite loose. Pull that under. There we go. That worked. Like that. Okay. Now, do I have another fat one? Not really. Okay. Moving you down. And that's very interesting. Something under there. Probably some waste canvas. There's a little bit of a loop. Or there's a knot or something on that underside. Okay. All right. Now, the difficult part. So when I'm doing these things, I take different types of beads and I sprinkle them along the edge without any glue. And I look at it and I see what I think it, if it looks right, looks good, makes me happy. So when I tried the beads, it just didn't really go with, I don't know, it just didn't go with it. I didn't like the way it looked. So I've just been debating. So as you can see, so this is some rope that I use for when I make the lobster traps. And I was digging through ribbon and things over there in my little stash of bins that have not been put away yet. And I really kind of liked the rope. So that's what we're gonna do. I just thought it added a really nice nautical touch and it wasn't too blingy looking. So here we go. What's really nice about this cording is that I don't have to make it, number one. And this takes a lot more cording than you would think to go all the way around. So yeah, you end up having to make more than you really think you need it. Okay, and I do it the same way. I just tied the fishing line around it, foof out the ends so it looks like a little flower, inject some hot glue in, and mash it down. We want it really skinny, really, really skinny. I think what I'm probably going to do is some kind of ivory bow at the top that has, let's say, that is more material like this, you know, that's a little more rustic. So we have the sparkle in this sailboat, and the white that she used has the sparkle. Okay. And because of that, the sparkle in the background, and then this lovely rope, natural, nautical feel. Now I'm going to go to the right with this. I don't know why. I just am. Right? So I'm going to start by, you know what? Do I want to use this? I don't know. We'll start with this one and see how it goes. Because this cording is so thin, I don't want an issue with that wide tip putting too much on. All right, I'm going to stop there. Right. And I'm not going to tuck this in. Maybe I will. I'm going to have to go over and find a doll needle because this is kind of ticking me off. Okay, we're going to go that. Got kind of a hard turn there. That. I'm going to have to take that back out. Bugger. Stop that. Being very disobedient. Little piece of cording. Get this around. And I'm going to keep that. I need a little extra there. Anytime you're in a V area, you gotta have a little help pulling it down into a space like that. Going to give me Agita. And this stuff. There. And you need to go in there. Get in there. There. Okay. There, that's better. Alright. And there. Find where we left off. Okay. Oof. That tiny nozzle really makes you squeeze that bottle. Now make sure to turn your cording as you're going around, because it'll tend to want to loosen the twist. That's just inherent in the cording. Okay. All right. Pull that down, then that down. There we go. We got that well. Okay, flatten you. Pull, pull, pull. You know, the great thing about this glue, I've been using it for 20 years. And why do I feel like that is not tacky? But I know that it is. Yeah, it's still tacky. Is that it is so, it gives you time to work. You know, hot glue is like this instantaneous thing. I know, but I don't have to pin this. It stays right where I put it, partially because I do let it dry a little before I put it on, so it's super, super tacky. But at the same time, um, it's acid free, and it just holds on for dear life. I will say that when I'm putting this on, I'd rather put less than more, because I really don't want the jellying out. Okay. If I need to go back and inject some in behind, or okay, so just saying, all you finishers out there, all of you people doing this, any of these little starfish with the deep V, yeah, I know. I'm mean. I know I'm mean. I do stuff like that all the time, but at the same time, it's not like you have to cut this out of foam core, or, cut foam core and make it the little pointy thing there. The most difficult time that you're going to have with it is when you're putting the cording on. Because, yeah, that's a V, and this is kind of a little bit of a chubber rope. And we gotta make a little switch back here, and it's going to resist this procedure. It's gonna be like, no, I'm round, I'm soft, but I'm not that bendable. This cording reminds me of me. My version of yoga is when I drop something on the grocery store, like my keys or something, and I have to bend over to pick them up. That's my yoga. This is how I stretch. All right, so this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and twist this tight, put my pin, and hold it, twist it tighter, and bend it in using my pin. Well, didn't that make a little franky thing there? All right, come on now. Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll come back in and smooth out those little bits there. Keep going around. We got glue drying. Okay, it's all down. But we do have to come back in and pull that in there. Then take this and pull that down there. Okay, like that. That guy, how am I gonna fix you? So here's that. That's that. That's that. Pushing it down. Sort of helped. Oh, it worked. Like that. Just like that. You gotta push that back in a little. Okay. There, there. You go in a little. Same thing there. Okay. Now, I'm gonna bring this down And make sure I'm not seeing anything that fishing line. I don't want to leave this too long because it'll be too hard to bury and marry them together. Right. That. And now we need to put one here so when we cut it, it's not ridiculous. Hold, please. So it doesn't unfurl when we cut it. Yep. Right. And we flip it. And we hot glue that end. Okay. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is figure out where to put this long tail. Oh, that is not going to work. Okay. I must find a towel needle. For heaven's sakes. Walk over to find a new one. Find mine sitting over by my tool case for classes. Figures. Hidden in plain sight. All right. Right. Going to inject a little glue in there and there. I'm going to pull that glue. Fishing line. Pull that down. Hold on. Mm. Now I want to tuck it under and behind the other cord. Like so let's take a stab at it this way. Trust me, marrying cords together is not always easy. Taking it back out, pushing it that way, and shoving it in. Put you that way, put you that way, push you down. Oh, I'm in camera. All right. It's not the way I would normally try to make it look seamless, but I do have to say, anytime we have cords that are pre-made, and you have seen some of the little foibles that have happened with this, that as far as it likes to split, and that's just the nature of it's more like rope, cotton rope, than like our regular cording. The strands are so tiny. Okay. All right. This here. This end. I'm gluey. So I have some little flat nose jewelry pliers that actually really do a great job smashing these down smaller. We got it so that people could smash the ends and not hurt their fingers in class. But they have so many great purposes. All right. So I go this way, going the opposite direction. Okay, I have to go this way. I don't think it matters at this point. Sorry. Oh, trust me, I will be punished for making that deep V, but it makes the ornament. I sit and curse so many designers for, why did you do this to us finishers? But with these designs, there are so many things I just can't resist trying to do to make a more fun design for you guys. It's just, oh, you know what? I am nubbing that right off because I'm afraid I will run into the stuff from the other side. The cording. Let me lay that down like that. That. Right off the bat, here we go. Hold on. You still see? So I'm kind of just pushing down on it like that. Okay. Got right down in there. Excellent. I think I'm going to add a little fresh to that. And I want to come back here. Kind of want to pull this in. Push that down. Get that really tight up against there. Keep my thumb on that there. Can you even see that? Or is this auto brightening really washing it the heck out. Feels like it's washing it out. Take your pen, your needle, get that pushed into the corner there. And then get this pushed in there. Nautical cuteness. I'm happy with it. Hope the customer will be happy with it. Right. Almost there. Okay, I'm stopping there and coming back in with a bead of glue because it'll make a big smear of glue if I don't. Gonna get this around that difficult, challenging, lovely, so kind to me. Oh, yes, he's gonna be so kind. Starfish. Well, you could have been kinder than that. There. Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. a kind of a big booger, but we're going to smear it on there anyway. Okay. Now, lay it down. Pull that over. Putting that needle right in between the twists to pull that in. And same there. Now, push that waste canvas under. Oh, how exciting. Oh, I love this. Really added a lot to this in a way that I really didn't expect it to. All right. One last bit, and then it has to dry. Okay. I think the color of the rope actually kind of marries, gives a not a bright ivory, but kind of that ecru that marries the browns of the clamshells and the sand dollars, and in a way that I didn't expect. It kind of helps blend all three tones. The brighter white. Okay. That's why my computer's so today all of a sudden my speaker stopped working. I thought, what the heck? And for some reason my Bluetooth driver just disappeared. It wasn't there anymore. It's like, are you kidding me? Technology. Love, hate. Gotta clean the boogers off of this because we are working in our final spot. Eee. So I used to be so jealous of my sister because she had long, slender fingers and she could play the piano because she had the reach. Oh, you are going to be difficult? Fine. Just try to be difficult. I am going to get you to go in and behave yourself. Come on. Oh my gosh. Definitely not how I was hoping this would end. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. As much as I would love to be able to have them curl under and not be a pain in the tuchus, that's just not meant to be. I don't know that I dare take the chance of giving it a little steam to flatten this dude. Okay, until tomorrow, time to dry. Okay, it's all dry. And now so one of the things that I found when we do the bow is a lot of times I'm trying to tie the bow to this metal ring and I loop it around and then I cinch it down, and what happens is because it's a little piece supposed to be like spring loaded, it'll collapse it, which would then make it pop right out. So I've just taken a little piece of mat board and I have shoved it down in there. I'm going to see if that's going to help us to keep it from closing when we do that. Here's hoping. Or if I messed it up, we'll see. We'll see soon enough. Or it might not let me wang on it quite as tight. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I searched around and I looked at the linen-y looking stuff and it just, I don't know. I wasn't in love with it. While it's okay, it's still not the right shade. And so then I found, but it'll work for something else. I have a whole no doubt on that one. But this is what I found instead. I think it's really cute. It goes with the color. It looks terrible in the close-up camera like that. So I'll hold it up here so that you can see it's not going to be too ginormous compared to the ball. Okay, so here is our sample one. And I'm thinking, and I can always cut this off afterwards if I don't like how far the drop is, but I think I want to put a loop on this. And I'm just concerned that if I don't do it now, it's going to, so this is the same cording I used, and I just glued the ends, put a blurb on there, and kind of rolled it in my fingers. All right. So I'm going to hold this up like this. And I think I could go just a tiny bit shorter, just like maybe a half of an inch. So I'm just going to hold it. I'm not even going to tape it off and then do the fishing line, and I'm just going to hold it so that it doesn't go crazy and really start to unwind. Keep a cup of water next to you if you don't want to lick your fingers, but then the hot glue does not stick to your hands. And I also have asbestos fingers, but feel free to use any kind of silicone fingertips that help you keep the glue away from your skin. It's always a major bonus. So what I thought we would do is do this. Actually, we can do this first. I'm thinking, there it is. Put a little, come on. Now it's almost noon, so I can't even blame it for being tired and not wanting to get up in the morning. It's noon. Come on, do what you gotta do. Okay, I'm gonna stick that in there like that, right? Because that, makes all the difference. Inject a little more in there. Not a ton, because again, it will jelly donut back out of it if we're not careful when it's shoved in there. I'm going to put it through. And if I don't like it, so this is a, got it in a little far on that. So maybe not. There we go. So this is just a wood bead that I happen to have. And even though it doesn't look like it in this picture, it's very close to the darker color. So, excuse me. I gotta turn that off to mute. Sorry about that. Okay, so now while our little bead sits and dries, we're gonna move that back and we're gonna start making bows. I am only going to be doing 3 more bows, and do not roll your eyes at me because you say you can't make a bow. It's just all about taking your time, making the loops. There. Nope, missed one. These are definitely not my finest pair of scissors. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to keep it in front of me, and I'm going to kind of pull them out so they're kind of flattened. Now we're going to poof those back up, obviously. And you can tell that they're not always symmetrical. Okay. And I'm going to pull out too longish. I want to say they're over 1 foot long for sure. 1.5 feet maybe of fishing line. Okay. Set them over here. Typically, I would hold them in my mouth, but since I need to talk to you while I'm doing this part of the ribbon, the bow, yeah, can't have it in my mouth. You won't be able to understand me. So that loop is a shorty, okay? And you're going to pinch and feed it into your left hand. Obviously, if you're a lefty, you're going to do it to your right. Okay? Like that. Now let me look. Pretty close. Okay? Now, come back around. We make this equal. Okay? And again, I am putting the ribbon to the back side of this loop as I'm pinching it down. All right? Now, pinching hard. Vice grip fingers. Yeah, I don't have them anymore either. Don't worry about it. Now, while pinching it, you kind of pull this. See it? Lay that ribbon, kind of try to bring it to the front, like it's laying right on top of that other loop. And you're going to bring it around and make a center. Now, this center that I just made looks a little big. This helps, we want it to be a little bigger and not so tight to the fishing line, because we want it to just look like one of the outer loops when we fluff it. So it just looks like a pile of loops up on top. But if we don't put this center one in, what happens is you can see the fishing line a lot, and we don't want that. So now I'm kind of twisting this while I have it pinched in my fingers so that it's not being shoved behind, because you can stack them right up on top of each other, and we don't want to do that. So now we do another set of loops, and I'm stacking this. I'm feeding it right into my thumb and first finger. Ready? Pinch, pinch, pinch. And my hand is starting to cramp, so stop talking and get pinching and stuffing. And usually it's not as difficult as this is, but this is really heavy canvas ribbon. Okay. All right. And no. Now I'm trying to work that fishing line. So when I tie it, it is in the center of the loops, or sort of the center, so that it's dividing them. So when they fluff, one doesn't look extra big compared to the other. I don't know if I can catch the light. The fishing line is right there. Okay, that's pretty close. We're gonna call it good. All right, now it's a little tough because I did 2 pieces because it is such a thick ribbon. Now, if you wanted to, you could make your lead, one of your ends, you could dip it in some glue so that they didn't separate as you were trying to work with them. Because, you know, this is where you're going to be cursing my name for using this. You could use some wire versus this, but you got to make sure that it is a wire that is a nominal neutral color, which is not easy to always find. Or maybe even a twine. Okay, see how I can see that this one side's a little bigger, and so it's a little offset? We'll deal with that in a minute. From the center is what I mean. It's not perfectly dividing it, or I made one loop bigger and one loop smaller. Wouldn't put it past me. Okay, like that. Okay, so now we look at it and see, you can see that this one is kind of bigger compared to this side. So what we do is we hold our fishing line, okay, and we know that this loop, okay, we can just kind of move it, pull the loop and push the fishing line around until you have it in the spot that you want. Because the ribbon will compress down as you're pulling on it, so that the only thing you don't want to do, or you want to be very aware of as you're doing it, let's put it that way, is that the back side of this one has a very short little tail. And if you pull it, this loop will come out. Okay, so now we're going to kind of open these up by pushing your finger down in there. All right, like so, and like this. Okay, ta-da. Okay, and they'll get all poofed up together when we put them all on the top. Now, if you don't want a bow on the top and you are happy with just, say, this little knotted, that's great too. Or you could just do a little shoelace around it. But for the most part, when I finish these, I usually put a little bow on the top of some kind. And I know that this seems like a lot of bow, but okay. Get our pieces of finishing. Okay. So, 2 more pieces. It can get really easy. I was going to try to do it because there's so much on the table now, but it can be easy to just have your loops get bigger and bigger accidentally. It just kind of happens. So I try to make sure to keep referring to that first one. Stuff, stuff, stuff. Okay. And Behave. Behave, behave, behave. I was kind of hoping I might be able to find like a fun stripe. Nope. I think that would have been a little too, I don't know. I don't think it would have looked right. That's only one. Where's my other one? There. So I pull that and I put my finger on the cross where the, like if you were trying to do the whole newspaper trick. And boop, 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 boop. No, they're not. One more with feeling. Fishing line. Too big. Told you. It happens. Pinch it a little smaller. Yep. Smaller. Didn't notice a change? It's minuscule. That's right. Okay. Now I may get 3 of these on there and go, that's too much to have a 4th. But I want it made just in case. Okay. Like that. to be finished. How about you? It's very exciting. I really like this one. Not that I didn't think I would, but you know, sometimes never know how it's going to go. I think we will go. They got a mind of their own. Oh, I want to fluff this before I put it on. Did you ever do the paper thing? Wop, wop, wop. Yeah, kind of like that. You're smashing down, open those pinch parts, okay? I'm going to put it on there. Makes it a little difficult putting that other thing on first, but we're going to take that and flip it up like that. So you can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so you can see I'm going to tie it right around the silver metal ring base. Oh, I like that it did not compress the wire. Perfect. Right? There. Right? I'm going to go around to the other side and I'm going to knot it again. Let it come up under all of the loops. And why am I doing this? Because I don't want stress, direct stress on that knot. Okay? I like giving it a little lead. Does not have to be tight this time either. Okay? So if anything gets pulled on, that, you know, it's kind of like when I sew things together, I always put it up in some arbitrary area, pull the needle out, and then cut it off so that there's always a little extra of the fishing line underneath next to the knot so that it's less likely just to be pulled. And okay, so now we're going to do this side, and this is why I do fours, is because it's kind of hard with this, in the respect that if we just do two, these sides look weird. It just does. I don't know. Looks like there's holes. So that's why, thus the four. Okay. Now you may see me turn these so that, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. And I'm working this up to the cap, over the cap, so it's, you don't want to get caught with it not popping up and being around that metal circle. I'm going to come on this side and I'm going to do the same thing. There. You see the big gapping sides? Yeah, this is why we have 2 more. Of course, this one doesn't look very foofed. But we do a final foofing. Because when you're handling it, and yeah, it just gets a little. You can also grab it like this and kind of get it all pushed up, because it's going to slide in. We're going to slide it into this area now. Come on, come on, come on. Again, we are going to reassess what they all. Why am I seeing only one on this side? Where is it? There we go. We will reassess how many we do after this one, but I have a feeling. So now I've got it up around the cap. It's right up in there. Yep, right up in there. Okay. Now it starts to look too repetitive, so what we can do is we pull it out and we turn the loop so that this one goes straight up instead of, looks like that one already tried to shift that way, but it's all good. Good, good, good. Yeah, it's swimming all over because I moved my stand away. I didn't think the wire hanger looked right. You know, the curly ones that are really pretty. I don't know, looked a little too fancy to me. Just not the right style, I guess. Okay, so this is the opposite side, so we're doing that leftover knot thing, right? Alright. Okay, pull it up here and cut that up there. Why not? Sure, sounds good to me. Up, straight up. Just kind of trying to manipulate it so that the loops on this one are not, they're going like in between, so these look like center loops, sort of. Okay, so this, I believe, is where our last one goes. Nope, that was my side one. Here. This one goes here. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of spun and spun. That was front and back, and this was side, side. Yep, that's the side I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm looking at the ring because I did the front and the back, and now I'm doing the sides. I'm tying it against the sides. Makes sense to me how I'm saying it. Might not make sense to you. And that's only because I'm just not explaining it right. Ah, no. Okay. Starting to freak out that it's getting all screwed up and that the metal is gonna let go. Okay, I gotta pull it back to me so I can kind of work this fishing line in. Up in there. Stop that. Okay. To that side. This bit. I want it. Oh, there. Okay. Now, why am I doing it this way? Well, by tying them all around, what happens is if you make just one flat one, it's like stick it on a present and it's flat, it's got a flat side to it. Whereas if you I'm trying to get it around the opposite side. For that other knot. Sorry, it's traveling backwards in my lap. Sugar. I am catching something. Well, you know what? This is our extra knot. So what we're going to do, bring it here. Just kind of knot it right there. And it's kind of knotting down on the cap. So since this is just our lead, or whatever you want to call it, it's okay. I'm going to pull it up through the bow so that if the bow gets separated at the away from the ornament, you won't see it. All right. Now, I don't really love that little piece there. So I'm going to take this, literally going to twist it. Okay. This will go down, that will go up. Puff it, puff it, puff it. Hopefully. What I'm trying to do is make sure that everything is, it would be so much easier to do the foofing aspect of it if this had wire edge. Always much more easy to handle, make, behave, etc. when you have that. Okay. Poof, poof. Pushing in. So when I put these on, sometimes I'm like, okay, that's a whole lot of boo. But, you know, when I look at it, cheese and crackers. Well, I did that. Yanking around on that bow. Oof. Just gonna start squishing ya. All right, where's this go? Go, go, go. There. Gotta take this. Trim that off. Okay. Kind of afraid to hold it up and look at it because I'm always this way. It's like, oh, is it gonna look the way I want it to? And did I just do too much? And yeah, for some people, I'm sure it is. But in the past, I do the same thing, and then when I see it, say on my video or something like that, I look at it and I go, okay, yeah, that worked. but in the beginning it doesn't always feel like it is. I think I'd be happier, like I said, if it was higher edge. Okay, so now, there it is. Okay. I know, looks like a lot of bow, but it really is not as much as you think. I'm like trying to, why are you so special? My little special sunflower. Alright, it's not impeding the design, so that isn't horrible. Okay. I don't know, it's a lot. Yeah, I'm doing it. I am. Now, what I'm trying to do is only cut that one. Okay. Now I'm going to shift you. That. That. You. This. You. Much better. Just fighting with way too much material. Okay. There we go. I can see a little spot there that I don't love. It's like a little gap. So let's work on you. Better, 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 better. Pulled off the 3. So much better. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now you, this is you, this is you. Boop. Poof you down. There you go. I try to do the less is more thing, but sometimes it's just like, that just isn't gonna work. And then it just works. All right, I hope you enjoyed the band ornament class. I really enjoyed teaching it to you, taught myself a few things, just like I always do. And I hope that you enjoyed the next center band ornament. So this is called a shape ornament, any of the ones that have a shape to them. And then there's the center band that just looks like a big band around the middle that has little darts in it. And then there's the topper. So those are yet to come. Happy finishing, and I hope that you love this as much as I do. Also, just a note, if you want to do the beaded edge, you can watch the video that is for appliquing a round needlepoint onto those disc ornaments. It's already on there. You can see how to do that. But I am going to do one of those in the upcoming videos. All right. Good luck. Message me if you need help.